Greetings, I'm Angel, and welcome back to Cozy Little Channel. If you watch both my gaming and book content, then yes, I'm recording these two videos on the same day, but you will see them like separately, not on like the same day, but you'll just like see them at a different time. Also, Happy New Year in case you didn't see the gaming thing. Or depending on which of mine you watch first. Either way, Happy New Year. Today I'm finally doing the booktube newbie tag. I was going to do it last year sometime, but I never really got around to do it. And I figured, well, new year, I'll just save it for the new year and have to, I guess, introduce myself in the bookish realm in the new year. So, let's get started. So I have like the questions here. I'll just also put them on the screen as well in case you also want to do like the booktube newbie tag. So the first question is, why did you start this channel? And I just felt like I wanted an extra outlet to talk about books. Of course, you could write a book review and on like the book that you've read and just keep it pushing and stuff like that, but I wanted to verbally say how I felt because I feel like I can essentially word it better. As you see, if you've like watched my other ones, you see how well I've worded those. But my thing is like I feel like verbally I can express more so. But not now, like this is the worst example, but I just wanted an extra outlet or another outlet to voice my book reviews and just book chats and stuff like that, just book stuff in general, because I can also come my friends too, but I feel like it's a lot of voice notes and it's like it's a lot, so I just rather do a video and something I could look back to. So that's like pretty fun. The next question is, what are some fun and unique things you can bring to a booktube? I don't know if I can call it fun and unique, but I guess I'm not on Book Talk or Book. I kind of am on Bookstagram, but it's like a mix of things. And I only hear about books, like Book Talk books, through the booktubers I watch. So and I also just look through and see what I think is interesting, whether it's popular or not. If I haven't heard anyone talk about it, if I think it sounds good, I'm gonna read it. So hopefully I could bring just new books to you on I'm into it, just like new reads, in case I mostly read like fantasy and romance, like a mix of the two. So yeah, hopefully I could bring just new books and not genres, but like new books to if new genres, if you never really read romance or fantasy and you want someone to chat about it, I could be that too. So hopefully that's fun and unique in my own like special way. And then, what are you most excited for about this new channel? I don't know, I guess like meeting other like-minded bookish gamer like cuties who are into like the same stuff as I am, like the cutesy cozy, if it's pastel like my whole background, or if it's just like more so just on the concept of like fantasy and whimsical, just into the same stuff as I am. I'm excited to meet those people and like make like new friends, and we could just chat about games and books and whatever else that we're into. Question 4, why do you love reading? Like a lot of readers, I feel like it's a sense to like escape from like the realities. You can delve into a whole different world, go through the characters' problems and put yourself in their shoes and all this other stuff. And it's just so much fun. It's like a cozy little hobby, if I can really call it that. And it just takes my mind off of like the stressors of, you know, life and stuff like that. And it's really calming. It's really calming, and I just really like it. What book or series got you into reading? Oh my gosh. Series? The series I remember the earliest was, I think, two of them. So if you heard of Magic Treehouse, like that series, there's like so many books in that series. I don't even think I finished it, but I know I really liked it when I was like in elementary school. And also like the Junie B. Jones books, if any of you remember either of those. And what else? I never read like the big series. Like I didn't read Percy Jackson. I didn't read Harry Potter. I still haven't. I've seen the movies though of both of those adaptations. I've seen movies of those, but I just haven't read them. Though since this year I do want to read just one epic fantasy, or just like high fantasy in general, I could probably check out one of the two, maybe Percy Jackson, because I'm also into like mythology, like lore and stuff like that. I think that's really interesting. But the ones that got me into reading, whatever book my mom read to me when I was young, I remember Goodnight Moon. I forget who the author is. The author and like the illustrator who like created the book. I forget like their name. I probably have it on the screen maybe, but Goodnight Moon was like my favorite child book. But chapter books, the Magic Treehouse series, if it's called that, and Junie B. Jones, like in her books of all the shenanigans. Question 6. What questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? Probably this list. I'll probably just like ask one of these questions from this list, and like different variations of these questions, because I just wouldn't know, like, tell me your favorite book, or like, you know, like your favorite quote from your favorite book or something like that. Maybe, but also just these questions as well. 7. What challenges do you think starting a booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? I'll guess consistency because I would like to post once a week. But the way my life is set up, and so I just don't feel like it, and I don't want to push out a video just because. So I feel like consistency is like the main thing, and just keep having like, you know, a consistent schedule. But hopefully I could at least post something once a month. I would try to strive for it like every other week, so like twice a month or whatever, give or take how many weeks are in that month. So I'm gonna strive, or like try to do one video like a month, but if I'm at least one video. But if I could have time to do like another one and stuff like that, then like 2 to 3 a month. But yeah, I feel like that's like the main thing. Consistency is probably like the hardest, or like a challenge. Question 8. When did you start reading? Baby. Like whenever my mom would read to me. But like the earliest memory, I feel like, I don't know, cause like my favorite book, Goodnight Moon, like I would read that, and that's probably like, if not elementary, then like pre-K daycare era. So probably sometime then is when I started reading. Like I feel like we've all started reading when we were young. So, and I don't have like a pinpoint or like an age, because it just blends together. Question 9. Where do you read? Literally wherever, like my bed, like in my room, like my gaming chair, in the living room, in the car. I know on the way home from work, I would read at stoplights, because it just makes, especially like especially if they are the long red lights, then I'll just sit and read. It'll make the time go by super fast, because so many things happen as like you're reading in that time period. So I just read wherever, like there's no, just read wherever. And then the last question is, what kind of books do you like to read? And I mentioned this before, But I like to read romance, fantasy. I'll say fantasy first because as I'm looking at my bookshelf, there's more fantasy books on my shelf than there is romance. But I do like both genres and the combination of the two before they were tied up and get romanticy. But yeah, like I like reading those. I love how deep in world building fantasy is, and you could just literally create whatever and it makes sense because it's your world. Like you can create your own magic systems, you can create like your own different like races, you can create your own language, you could create just a whole different world and society, and I just love diving into that. Which is why I'm like excited to hopefully find a fantasy series, like a high fantasy series I could get into, because it's just amazing. And then romance, I love romance. I love, if in case you haven't seen my other reading like wrap ups, I love books where the guy is like down bad, atrocious in love with like the woman interest, and also as a bonus points if the main woman of like the story is a black woman. So yeah, those are like my two favorite. Of course, a combination of the two. I really do enjoy a good like a fantasy story but with like a romance subplot, but like you still see bits of it throughout the story. I like slow burns. If we can talk about my favorite tropes, I really enjoy childhood friends slash or like friends to lovers type stories. What else? I feel like that's like the main thing. Enemies to lovers, if it's done correctly, and the only book that I've read that it was done correctly is Immortal Dark by Just Gurma. Just Gurma. Hopefully I'm pronouncing her name correctly. I'll probably put it on the screen or something. But that book, it was my first enemies to lovers, so I have really nothing else to compare it to, so I'm probably just biased. But that's a really good like enemies to lovers, to where if they end up together, then it could destroy them in both the best and worst way possible, and you're just there for the ride. And what else? There's like other tropes that I also like don't mind reading. I'm okay with forced proximity. I'm okay with like fake dating, because it's kind of like, or like fake relationship type tropes, because it's kind of like they're like friends in a sense, but they're like learning each other along the way while they're like pretending to date, and then it eventually gets to become real. So I don't like mind that either. We all know, if you've watched my other ones, I hate, or I have learned that I do not like fated mates, insta love, insta attraction. I don't give that to me. I don't care. Like the way that I've read and it's been written, I just don't like how it's being written. That's probably like what it is. If you could give me a book that has that trope and it's written in a way that makes sense and doesn't make me want to like throw it against the wall, then drop it below. But those are all the questions. Thank you for taking time. There's water right here, almost spilled. Thank you for taking time out of your day to sit and hear me chat and about like kind of like books, but like introduce myself as like a cozy reader. That's like really it, and I really know how to end these. But thank you so much for watching, and thank you like for being here. If you'd like to see more cozy videos, whether that's for books or games, you please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you